Hey guys, so I am super excited to share my everyday makeup routine with you today. This has come so highly requested and I finally took the time to sit down and film it, even though I'm no beauty YouTuber or YouTuber whatsoever. I hope this is helpful and that you can reference it back to it if you need some inspiration for your everyday makeup routine. But let's get started. The first thing I start with is primer, and I use this Hangover Too Faced primer because I have dry skin. It's really great for that. I just put it on my fingers and rub it all over my face, like work it into my skin. Then I let it dry, and I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I use the shade Light or Light Neutral. I bought both and they both work great. But it is the best concealer, and I use it primarily for under my eyes. And I don't buy a concealer that is brighter than my skin color because I feel like it gives me like a ring of white around my eyes, and I don't really like that. So this one pretty much just matches my skin tone. Anyways, I'm using the camera as my mirror to do this. And then I take my beauty blender and I'm just gonna pat it into my skin. Okay, and then after that, I'm gonna take foundation with my Kabuki brush and this Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I use the shade Nude, and I just blend it all into my skin. I have dry skin, so I'll probably say this a bunch, but I use all liquids primarily because I have such dry skin. So if you were more oily and you wanted to use a liquid foundation, I would set it with a powder, but I don't do that because it makes my skin too dry. So that's that, but I do set my under eye concealer and on my eyelid too. I just use this Hourglass ambient lighting powder that I clearly need a new one of, and my beauty blender, and I just rub my beauty blender in it and get some powder on it, and then I just kind of set that concealer that I put under my eyes and on my eyelids so that it doesn't crease. Moving on to bronzer, I use the NARS bronzer in Laguna. It's what I've used ever since I started using bronzer, honestly, and it works so well. And I use a really big fluffy Bobbi Brown bronzer brush because I don't like the look of a contoured look for every day. I prefer like more just a sun-kissed look. So I blend it into my hairline and then down into my cheek where you would contour, and then down onto my jawline. And I just do that so that I look like I have a tan, kind of. Tan. Alright, next I do a little blush, and I use, I've said this before, but I use more of a bronzer blushy tone than a pink tone. So this Chanel blush is what I use, and it's in the shade Golden Sun, and if you look at it, it is more of like a bronzy rose color. And then I just take this blush brush and rub it in it a little, smile, and then just put a little bit on my cheeks and blend it out towards my bronzer. Diet Coke break.
Okay, eyeshadow next. I use this Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia. And first step is I go in with this gold shade called Primavera, and I put it all over a flat shader brush, and then I put it all over my lids from my lash line to the crease.
Next, I'm going to take an even lighter shade.
All right, the next step is to take this even lighter shade. It's called Vermeer, and I put it on my ring finger, and then I blend it into the inner corners of each eye and down onto like where the bridge of my nose would be.
And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And I don't know if you can tell, but what that does is it just brightens up that inner corner. It makes you look more awake, more alert, more alive. All right. Last step of eyeshadow is the crease, and I actually mix 3 colors for the crease.
So the three colors I mix are warm taupe, raw sienna, and burnt orange, and they create this really pretty matte medium brown that's perfect for that outer crease.
Okay, and then one last trick. To make sure they're blended together, I take that same finger that had the lighter shade on it, and I just blend right where they meet so that there's no like harsh line, and the light and dark shades blend right into each other. Oftentimes my finger is the best like shader because it blends really nicely. And I pretty much wear shadow every day just because I feel like it gives such a like done look, and I love it. So that's that. Next, I'm gonna do eyeliner. And so I'm gonna bring the camera a little bit closer for this because two reasons. One, it'll be a little hard for you to see, and two, it's a little hard for me to do it when I don't have a camera in my face. I do a slight wing, and that's just the way I like it. But I've been using this Man-Eater eyeliner by Tarte, and I like it. It's not my long-term like favorite. Actually, a follower recommended it to me and I've been liking it a lot. But I typically use this Stila Stay All Day eyeliner, and they're both liquids.
So let's just say I should not have been trying to talk during this because it was hard enough for me to put my eyeliner on camera. But anyways, I start from the inner corner and I make a medium thick line and then go out to the edge and do a slight cat eye, but not too much, for an everyday look.
Okay, now on to mascara. My mascara is actually a multiple step routine because I'm ridiculous like that. But anyways, the first step is this mascara primer by Dior. I've talked about this before, but I have not found a drugstore dupe that's good enough that I could recommend. But this Dior one is amazing. And so what I do is I do a coat on each side of my top lashes with this before I actually start with normal mascara. And there's the second. So that's what that looks like. And then I'm gonna let it dry, and while it dries, I'm gonna do my eyebrows.
Okay, next is eyebrows, and I use this Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in the shade Taupe with a small angle brush by MAC. And I just mix the two colors because that's my shade. And I start at the inner corner by my nose and work my way out toward the tail, doing the bottom first and then going back in toward the top. I use a powder because I feel like it gives a more full look than a pencil would give a more defined look.
So there's one side, and this side's not done. So you can tell it just gives a little bit more of a filled in look. Like honestly, I don't like it to look that unnatural. Okay, so now my eyebrows are done, and they're just super natural and filled in and plain, and my eyelashes are now dry. So what I'm gonna do is, after the primer that I put on, I use a mix of two different mascaras. And so the first one I use is this L'Oreal Telescopic, it's upside down, mascara. And it has a funky, like, long brush. I'll show it to you. And then I use this because it primarily lengthens and just brings, like, spaces my eyelashes out and brings a lot of length. And then I'll follow it up with this L'Oreal Lash Paradise because that like helps fill them out. So they both do different things, but I wait till each one dries in between applying the next one.
All right, so with this L'Oreal Telescopic mascara, I'm primarily focusing on lengthening and fanning out my eyelashes, making them as long and wide as possible. And I'm using a really light hand and a light coat just to get that lengthened base. Then in a second, I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which you see here with that fluffier brush. And this really volumizes the lashes and coats them more than what I had with the telescopic mascara. It also makes more of a mess, but I'm going to clean that up here in a minute and I'll show you how.
All right, lastly, for my favorite little trick, when I get eyelashes that are like clumped together like that, what I do is I take this little separating tool. That's like my secret weapon. And I just separate them right where they're connected because that drives me crazy. Perfect. For my bottom lashes, what I'm going to do is take the same L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. It's the only one I use on my bottom lashes. And I just kind of rub side to side and pull out a little bit. Last thing before I clean up the mascara, I have to let that dry. That's like the biggest key to cleaning it up without getting black all over the place, is making sure it's dry, is my lips. And
So I pretty much wear the same lip combos every day. It's always MAC Whirl lip liner with either the NYX Liquid Lip Suede in the shade Soft Spoken or Urban Decay Liquid Lipstick in the shade Vice.
that's it. So I think the biggest key and trick with liquid lipstick, because I get a lot of messages saying that like you guys have tried ones I recommended and like they're like flaky or you don't like the way they wear. And I think the biggest trick is honestly doing really thin layers, making sure you don't have too much on the applicator and just going in thin layers and not like rubbing your lips together and then just letting them dry, because this won't be dry for about, I don't know, like 3 minutes. It's not that long, but it feels smoother, and then all of a sudden you don't really notice it's there anymore. So that's when you know it's dry.
Okay, lastly, to clean up that mascara, take a Q-tip, totally dry, and just rub like an eraser all the mascara and it'll come right off.
So that's it. All right, so that's my everyday makeup routine. Honestly, I wear it every day, so I don't switch it up that often. And if I'm going out at night, I usually just add a dark lip or add some more dark shadow and just make it a little more evening appropriate. I hope this helps you and maybe brings some inspiration to your makeup routine. But if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments and I would love to answer those and help you out. And I will leave all the product and shade information below so you can shop those and add them into your routine if you want to. But thank you so much for watching, and let me know if I can help you in any way. Love you guys.